Columbia Square is on the air. From KMX, the voice of Hollywood, the greatest stars of radio, screen, and stage unite in a salute to Columbia Square.
The building, the complex, opened April the 30th of 1938. During the golden age of radio, every single movie star, recording artist that you could think of worked in those halls.
Orson Welles did War of the Worlds broadcast from this space, which is, one of the most famous radio broadcasts of all time.
This also was the beginning of the television era in the late 1940s started here. So the earliest CBS television broadcasts were from Columbia Square as well.
Then in 1960, CBS moves Columbia Records' West Coast office into this property. So then we have the recording of some of the most seminal pieces of music from the 60s and 70s.
Bob Dylan's Blonde on Blonde, Johnny Cash's I Walk the Line, were all recorded there. The Doors recorded there.
It was the harbinger of things to come. It was state of the art. It was William Paley's very favorite property.
He brought his New York architect, William Lescaz, here to design a purpose-built building for the radio industry.
In 1938, this was cutting-edge architecture.
This is a very rich facility as far as history, being the original West Coast banner for CBS.
The best way to preserve a historic building is to use it. So it's important to maintain a viable use for a historic building. It provides life, it puts people here, it makes it part of a living urban fabric.
I think Columbia Square has already started to create a new renaissance in Hollywood. People that don't even know I was connected to it tell me about wanting to have space there, wanting to live there.
I never had any plans to move to Hollywood because I've never really loved Hollywood. And then working over here, I started to realize how much I loved how walkable everything is.
It's just part of what cities are becoming now. They're transit-oriented. These buildings are all being constructed on transit lines, near transit stops. It just makes more sense from an urban planning point of view.
What we're seeing here at Columbia Square is a microcosm of the greater Hollywood area, with Neuhaus, with Fender Guitar, with Viacom all moving here. They want to be located where there's history, where they can say, hey, this is where Lucille Ball filmed some of her shows. This is where Bob Hope was.
We present the punchline artist of the big broadcast of 1938, Bob Hope.
I don't have to tell you again that this is a beautiful building. It really is. It looks like the Taj Mahal with a permanent wave. I mean,
The first film studio was right on this property. And actually the birth of Universal Pictures then happened here. And the Christie Film Company, which was a very, very famous comedy film company, operated out of here for 17 years. Then Christie sold the property to build this magnificent facility.
The idea that the new creatives of the 21st century are using the same purpose-built radio building that Lescaz built and that Paley envisioned, is actually a wonderful continuation of culture.
People feel that this area is a hub for a lot of different types of creative industries. You run into people, you meet people, there's a sense of collaboration. So I've been at the coffee bar downstairs and met someone who builds websites, and so that's been perfect for us, where we've used it for one of our clients.
Since people saw us coming here and we opened our doors, it attracted a lot of other people to come in here and do the same. We want to be a part of that rebirth of that going on here in Hollywood.
The fact that you can come out of the office building, come downstairs, go to a great restaurant, and there are places to actually work in the outdoors, both on the terraces as well as in the campus itself. So all that kind of variety is part of what supports the kind of creative work that is going to go on there.
Columbia Square is an example of how the revitalization of Hollywood can be done and should be done.
One of the things Kilroy brought to the table was a willingness to work with the community in a complicated process.
It's just so cool that a building like this has been preserved, because there's not a lot of that in Los Angeles.
Why I'm such a big fan of Kilroy is they took this magnificent complex and they brought it back to life.
This is going to be the focal point of this neighborhood.
They've come up with an absolutely stunning project for Hollywood, and they did this all on spec. You know, they believed in Hollywood.
Kilroy has managed to build this new, denser urban complex while still preserving the character and the integrity of one of the most important historic sites in Hollywood.
Good night from Columbia Square.